I had the chance the other day to sit down with Average Look Gamer, EO, and Rehoo to talk about 1.1 and everything we know coming in the future for zzzero. So please follow along with the timestamps below, and let's get started. Welcome to my channel. My name is Kate the 7th, and I'll be your host today.
Okay then, lads. Let's get into it. So we've got Jane and Seth in game now because of the 1.1 undercover R&B. The story
special mission. Yeah, the story mission.
Yeah, help me with my words. Thank you. So I guess the question is, have you had a chance to play it? What do we think? Initial takes. Rehoo, I know you made a video.
Yes. You want me to just go ahead and start since I'm already did it?
Yeah, for sure. Go for it.
Okay. So both of these characters I think are absolutely amazing. With the second half of 1.1, I do think that they are 100% trying stuff new, and it's absolutely working. Jane is going to be absolutely nuts because of what's in her kit. Seth is exactly what we needed for the defense role. Now that he's able to do new mechanics that weren't in the game already, with him being able to do backwards quick assist and being able to chain off of everything he does into his skill, which basically gives him that backwards quick assist. It's a really cool thing to see that these two characters are trying stuff new, and every character so far has been doing stuff new. But realistically, Jane and Seth are going to be very strong. They're going to be some crazy units once we get our hands on them with our actual accounts. Because god dang, I know EO played a little bit of Jane, but god dang, yeah, she and Seth are insane, like absolutely wild.
Ooh. Okay, I mean that's big talk right there.
No, it's worth it. Like I'm telling you, these characters are crazy.
Is it Seth who's got like a huge buff for anomaly stuff?
Yes.
How big is that buff? What's his deal?
It's
with or without. I guess without a Lycon or a W engine.
Now it's top base kit.
Then I think he gives you like 90 or something like that.
Is 90 proficiency, but I think the big thing about it, which is a really easy thing for him to proc, is the minus 20% anomaly buildup res on an ally once they get the shield, which is actually pretty crazy. I think that's an insane thing to give to anomaly characters, which works so well.
That's actually crazy.
I love it.
And that shield lasts under 30. Like, is it? Oh, I've got his kit up here. 25 seconds. That's actually a long time.
Yeah. In an action game, that's a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the thing that I don't think a lot of people took note of when looking at Seth's kit, whoever got the chance to play it, the reason why I think Seth is such a crazy character, a really cool character specifically, is because of the addition to the backwards quick assist. Because usually quick assist could only be done by support characters, and it could only go forward. So whatever teammate is to the right of that teammate, so if it's the first slot and you quick assist, you would go into the second slot character. But with Seth specifically, he has the backwards quick assist, so whoever's in the second slot gets thrown into the first slot. And with that being said, that means if we sandwich the DPS in the middle and have a support and a defense character, you're able to non-stop quick switch back into the DPS. And give them all the buffs that you would want them to have, and all the additional mechanics.
I was gonna add into what you were saying because I was fucking around with it last night. Can we say that on the pod? Like, is it? What can't we say?
Say whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
Say whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I was fucking around with her last night, and you know exactly what you're talking about, right? Where you have like Jane in the middle, and then Nicole in the front, or something like that, right? And then she'll send it to Jane, and then Seth goes, and then Seth sends it back to Jane, and I'm like, yo, this is really nasty. I don't like starting with my support character in the front, but it feels like good specifically for that. And then there's another thing where like you can have two. It's not so you have an attack character, an anomaly character, and then Seth, right? And so like Seth, Neko, and then Jane. Oh my gosh, bro! If we're talking about Jane and Seth like as a combo, phenomenal, easily one of the best combos in the game, right? But Jane by herself, that character is easily, I'm telling you right now, bro, number one in the game. Number one DPS in the game, right? Number one in the game. Zhu Yuan right now is number one, and rightfully so. I'd say you could probably argue it, right? Like when it gets to a point, you're going to be able to argue between Jane and Zhu Yuan. And it's crazy like how fast Ellen just got removed. someone called Ellen Jingyuin. Bro, I got upset. Yeah. Someone called Ellen Jingyuin, and I was like, don't you ever disrespect my queen. And I'm like, you know what? Now that I thought about it, I'm like, fuck, bro, I'm about to become a Jingyuin main for Ellen's because that's how I feel right now. I'm like, dang, she was just number 1. Now she's not number 1. She's number 2 now, right? And then the ice team is very strong. It's missing something. But when Miyabi gets here, that's probably the key thing, right? When Miyabi gets here, we know she's an ice DPS, or we have speculation and reason to believe she's an ice DPS based on the story. She gets here, she's going to replace Ellen. Yeah, they're not going to work together, right? You don't have 2 DPSs working together.
Well, unless she's not a DPS, though. You know,
I've
never seen a samurai.
Listen. I had a theory that they might pull a curveball on us and give her anomaly. Like,
even
then, she'd still be a DPS, though, right?
Well, she still would functionally be a DPS. She just outputs a lot more like ice specific damage.
But to be honest, the ice reaction, even though I don't want to say the ice reaction is not good, it's definitely good because they get stunned. But when you compare it to something like Ether, or you compare it to something like Physical, it's not as crazy in comparison.
I think what's holding the ice team back right now is that you either run all 3, so Sokaku, Lycan, and Ellen, or you try replacing Sokaku with Rina. But now you're missing the freeze. When you're playing with Lycan and Ellen, you get a lot of freezes, don't get me wrong. But Sokaku just makes freezing people that much. Like, she's literally the ice version of Piper. I come on the field, I press triangle, I hold it, you're frozen, right? Not having that on the team, but instead replacing that with Rina makes it like, but then you're like, if I freeze you and then Rina shocks the crap out of you and now you get disordered, it's really strong for whatever anomaly character you're using. So I feel like the team is just kind of missing that piece, right? Maybe if they had a stunner that also froze really fast. And so even if we made anomaly, and like, let's say Miyabi does come out and she's anomaly and she freezes insanely fast, that's still gonna put Ellen out of the ballpark for like strongest DPS, or one of the strongest DPS.
Let's I like this conversation, but let's save that for the one of the topics coming in later when we're talking about
I feel like we're kind of covering that topic. That's fine.
But right now let's go back to Jane, because I actually would like to argue a little bit on Jane, and I think that this makes for good conversation on podcasts. So I think this is a good thing. But I'm not necessarily saying you guys are wrong, but I don't think Jane is going to be the best until another character comes out to pair with her the next patch in Bernice, because there's a fire disorder team with Piper and Soldier 11 right now that's very strong. And if that team is as strong as it is right now with Piper and Soldier 11, can you imagine how strong it would be with Jane and Bernice?
I think you would replace. I don't know if I'd put. That's a good question, actually.
I was gonna say that still would be a testament to how strong Jane is. Like, I think the big thing about it, and especially because Jane, her team passive comes off of anomaly or faction, which is a pretty big thing. That some of these units are getting role-based affiliations rather than element and faction. But looking at Jane, I think with her being not only anomaly herself, but also being able to pair up with other anomalies, she is a lot more universal than a lot of the other characters we have in the game currently. Like Juyin and Ellen, don't get me wrong, their teams are absolutely crazy by themselves, but they're only going to be with those teams at the current moment. Because you're not going to switch off Nicole for Juyin. You're just not, because that's the best pair in the game right now. And Ellen's the same way. You're not going to take her off of her ice team because they work so well together. But they're kind of confined to that space and don't have as much room to grow. While someone like, Jane Doe, she has that option to grow, because whatever anomaly character comes out, whether it be Grace, whether it be Bernice, or any other anomaly character that comes out, any other anomaly support, she's going to be able to work with them. And the fact that she's bringing another new mechanic, which is making not disorders, the anomalies crit. That's a crazy thing to have.
Dude, that one ability is I've been talking about this for a little bit, but you guys played hoyoverse. Have y'all gotten this ability or this card? It's called Execute, and it basically it deletes. So for the listeners, if you don't know what it is, in hoyoverse there's a buff for assault in in the Hollow Zero, and it's called Execute. What it does is if you do any particular move, so like you can get, and it's a couple of them. You can get Execute off a random ultimate, a random skill, a heavy attack. Doesn't matter what it is. And then there's the other card for Execute that if you drop them beneath like 70%, 60%, 50% HP, you have a chance of just auto deleting all their HP. They're just dead. So Jane works her assault the way that I've never thought to crit on an anomaly attack before. But now that I see it, it should not be in the game. Now, don't put that in the podcast, right? Because I don't show that to Hoyo, because I need them to keep it because it's really, really good. Like, it's insanely strong. The idea. Normal characters, when they crit, right? Like, let's say that a Zuyuan does her boom, 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 and she crits, right? You're looking at anywhere between, on a very good build, somewhere between like 70, maybe 120k, right? Jane crits with anomaly and you're over 300k on top of every other attack that she was already doing. And the fact that she's racking up anomaly so fast by herself without anyone else on the team is already a testament to her own strength. Then you add someone else on the team and now it's even higher, right? So like this character by herself works with every single character or every single anomaly character in the game, and anyone else that happens to be physical, and supports just make her even stronger. She loves the defense characters right now. Maybe not so much Ben, but Seth. And then we were talking 100%. About zzzero, I think is what we were talking about earlier. That idea, the concept is going to be broken, but she's really good. I love what they're doing though. Execute and the critting of anomaly, it works exactly like Execute because of how small mobs are, right? Mobs only have so much HP. By the time you trigger assault, delete it, they're just gone. And for bosses, you don't kill them instantly, but when you see 20-30 something percent of their HP bar go from green to red, oh, it's one of the most beautiful feelings in the game, dude. I cannot get enough of just like start Jane gameplay reset, start Jane gameplay reset, start Jane gameplay it's too good. It's so freaking good, man. And when Caesar gets here, because you mentioned the Caesar and Bernice thing, and I'm like, you know what? I wasn't thinking about the Bernice thing, because she looks like she can burn pretty quick. Especially, I guess, if she does work like the fire team, because the fire team has what? Soldier 11, Lucy, and Piper. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
And so you're doing a lot of the burns because Piper does the assault on her own, and then the other two are helping you with the burn. Soldier 11 burns pretty fast. I can only imagine if Bernice attacks similar speed or faster than Soldier 11, she's gonna get those burns off like crazy. And then having the burn on top of, here's the best part, assault, and then not even the disorder part yet. Caesar is a defense character, right?
Yep.
Imagine the stun value. Not only are you getting assaulted, so that's a flinch, then you get stunned, so you're just stuck, you can't move, right? And then you get the disorder. Now they're stunned, they have the daze beater, so they're amplified by like the 150% or 175%, whatever's gonna happen. And then you just start going ham. Delete, 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 delete. It's over. I'm so excited for that team, dude. Like, they should not release that, but I hope they do.
Well,
Jane can't crit now.
Well,
if they did that, I'm pulling a new Valette. I'm pulling a new Valette, bro. We're going to CN.
Well, if Bernice, the reason why I think that Jane and Bernice are just gonna absolutely break the game together is because Bernice is gonna be so flexible in terms of like field time, because she can do her things off field. So that team's gonna be crazy.
We don't really have that much off-field damage at the moment. So
we don't. There's very few.
Yeah,
very, very few.
She could be huge even without Jane.
Yes.
I guess that's kind of a different conversation though. But
but my last thing for this point with Jane and Seth is, so Seth being a defense and him giving anomaly buffs and also giving a shield. So this has pretty much made it where they're saying defense characters are going to come out, give you a little bit of defensive utility, and also do something like a little bit of another role, right? So like Seth is defense plus anomaly, Ben is like a defense plus stun. So does that mean we're gonna get a defense plus attack agent in the future, like a defense character that can help with damage? Is that what they're doing with the defense agents?
The fact that they're making, you can go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I think defense is like that in the middle.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not really defined per se as just being a defensive unit, more so that, hey, we're going to offer support to the team and then we'll give them something else, because you can't fit it on the team, right? We only have a 3-man team. So you have your DPS character, you typically have your stun character, and then you would have like a support. But the defensive character typically has both supportive abilities and they have stun capabilities. If we use Ben in the game right now, Ben has increased days in his kit. And in fact, if you hit his counter, like the parry, it's almost an instant daze on multiple enemies at that. And then he also has the, hey, I'll give the entire team 16% crit rate plus a shield. So like that's 2 characters in one right there.
I think the thing that makes Seth so nasty is that backwards quick assist. I think that the fact that he gets it off of his hold basic is what makes me feel that defense is going in a good way. Because like I feel like if you take too much time off on field with other characters other than your DPS, you're not getting as much value off of that DPS because everyone else is taking up so much time.
Yeah, that's another thing I was talking with my server the other day. Like, there's just some teams in the game that, you know, on paper they might sheet well, but in, you know, practice they don't do that well because everybody's fighting for too much field time. Like, you got to have that balance.
Yeah, Seth absolutely circumvents that. That man uses his skill, he has full charge. Uses chain attack, full charge. Ultimate, full charge. And then you go straight into your skill, and then you go straight into your hold attack, and then you can just get off the field. And then you give all the buffs associated with that shield, which getting it off the quick assist is insane to me, to be honest.
Yeah, so I'm very happy that they're releasing strong A ranks. I think that we need strong A ranks.
Yeah.
And it sounds like
because we only have 3 character teams, so it means that eventually, right, like all the A ranks would just be like useless. If you just wanted to make the most out of all of your characters all of the time. So yeah, you're right. Like they need to make strong A ranks because you got 1 character less than you do in Honkai and Genshin.
But
you're not just giving up a slot.
But before we get to this next topic, I got one question for you guys. Do you think that we're gonna eventually get to a point where the best teams are not even faction based? They're just, because we keep on talking about characters like Jane and Shingi now having these, you know, universal passives. Are we gonna eventually get to the point where faction teams are no longer even the best? It's just gonna be a lot of universal characters together?
I actually disagree, Io.
Yeah.
I think it depends, because there are some characters I feel like have lackluster team passives that don't necessarily you need to have procced just because their base kit is like so good, and the team passive for, let's say for example, I think if I'm not wrong, Qingyi, she gets attack percent, or she gets attack points based on your impact if you have you know, an attack based character or a faction based character. And realistically for Qingyi, although having that added extra damage is pretty nice, I'm not gonna lie, it's not necessarily what she needs, because all she cares about is, do I get the stun off quick? Yes. Do I give you that stun damage multiplier that's already innately in my kit? Yes. I got my job done, I'm finished. Something like that, I don't necessarily think Qingyi needs to have her team passive. Is it good to have? Yes, 100%, because you get that extra damage.
I mean, but like, why wouldn't you have that in any team comp that you're putting Qingyi in? Why wouldn't you have an attack character?
But we're saying that, like, for a character that has as good of a kit as they do, if they so happen to work well with another character but they don't have that team passive, I don't think that makes the end of the world for that character.
I think if you didn't look at it maybe so like as a like a definite, I could agree with what you're saying, but I don't even think it's that case. I think that, you know, we see it every iteration of character so far, so we can use that as like a really good example of our basis for the theory, is that so far every faction, they're designed to work with each other in some way, shape, or form. They have a very fluid kit for both or all 3 to 4 characters, right? The maid faction, all of them work together. It doesn't matter how you spin the team, they all find a way to work together. When you have the cunning hairs, they all work for and off of each other, right? Billy has the DPS, Ambi has the stun, she also has the juggle, so Billy can just shoot somebody like in the crouch state forever, and then Nicole groups them all together. They all work off of one another. Then we have the newer factions that are coming out. So we have the cops. Her and Ching-Yi work phenomenally together. And then you add Seth. Now Seth is a little bit questionable, right? Because like you don't necessarily need Seth, but having Seth with the anomaly, now you can kind of alter your build for Zhu Yuan if you wanted to. And he's also still giving the support to the rest of the team to the point where like honestly, you only need Zhu Yuan and Ching-Yi. Would I put Seth on that team? Fuck no, because Nicole exists. But
Nicole was the one reason I was gonna say there are some characters that like, yes, you need to have that team bonus, because something like Nicole, where she's giving that ether bonus once an energy field hits anyone, that's a pretty big deal. Now that's something I'm like, no, there's no flexibility in that. Yes, you need faction. I just think there are some characters though that inherently have weaker team passives that don't necessarily need to be activated for them to do what they need to do. But I do think, yes, some characters will, yes, well, you need to stay in your faction, you need to stay in your team passive type of role. I just think that maybe there's a chance in the future that we have like 3 god tier characters, they're somehow not in the same faction, they don't share elements. They might be able to make a team with that and it actually work.
Yeah, I would say the faction is probably like the least of it, right? Like if it's not in the same faction, that part's okay. But having it in the same, at least activating their core passives, that's probably where it's going to be super important.
Yeah,
go ahead.
No, don't worry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was kind of just going to agree with what you were saying, though, Rehoo. Like, yeah, I think it depends on the future core passives, right? It's kind of like Rehoo said earlier. It's like, if the core passive is worth activating, like Ching-Yi's is kind of like, well, the extra damage is nice, but it doesn't make or break her character. She still stuns. So I guess I think Hoyo designs the characters to work well together within their factions, or
yeah,
like,
of course,
and that is great. But I think if we're gonna find something that's like secret broken tech at some point, like it's probably gonna come from like mixing characters together they didn't necessarily plan for, which means that you might be giving up some of those passives, I imagine. But it does depend on how they scale the characters moving forwards with those core passives.
Can we appreciate really quickly though how like for every banner, since Ellen, Julian, and Ching-Yi, they're giving us, well, I don't know about Ching-Yi. Ching-Yi's 4-stars are kind of mid, but but with the DPS,
you don't like Billy, bro?
Hey, listen, but with the DPSs, with Ellen, with Julian, with Jane Doe, they're giving us their best in slot 4-star partner with it. With Julian, they gave us Nicole. With Ellen, they gave us Sokaku, and then with Jane Doe, we're getting Seth. I think that's a really cool thing that they're like making sure there's always that best in slot with them, because now you're getting the bang for your buck. When you summon, you might get a couple of copies of Seth, then you get your Jane Doe. Now you have some dupes for your Seth, which is a really cool thing. You don't have to like hunt for that character off of another banner. I think that's a really cool thing that Zenless is doing right now.
Yeah, it's a great thing, especially given like some of the previous banners that we've had in each of the Hoyo games, where we'll have stuff on I'm trying, like, okay, we'll have like an Acheron team with a Yukong, and I'm like, why is Yukong here? Like, granted, you could really pilot that team, but for somebody that's free to play, or like a light spin or whatever, they're not gonna sit there and build a Yukong to put on their Acheron team, knowing they need 2 Nihility units. Like, dude, you could have put Pela on there or something, which I do believe Pela was on that banner. I'm just exaggerating, but still. Yeah,
I'm just saying the fact that it's consistent with the DPSs, I think that's a really cool thing that they're doing it. And it's like pretty good pairing. It's not like, okay, they might be good together. They're pretty okay. No, these are like, you want them on your team guaranteed.
Absolutely.
If you pull them, which I think is cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're going the right direction for sure.
Speaking of nihility, Anomaly is definitely the nihility of ZZZ.
100%.
I wish I knew what that meant.
Let's get
this man.
All right, let's get on to talking about the Sons of Calydon and our expectations for them. I would like to go first because your boy's about to break the bank for the new king.
Real quick, why the heck are all of them physical and fire?
Hey, bro,
man, listen,
hey, shut up.
That's what they need. That's what they need.
Hey, physical Physical Supreme, you're talking to a C6R5 Eula main. I love Physical. Okay.
Listen, Physical is he in this game. I'm not saying anything else than that. Physical is he in this game. I don't know about Fire, but Physical is Omega he.
Yeah, Physical is my favorite element of the game.
True.
Yeah,
Same.
Yeah.
Same here.
So, your boy, the Suns, as great as Jane is, and you, Rehoo, I give you props, bro. You put on your YouTube voice, and you did everything in your power to try and sell Jane to me, man. I almost broke, but I'm sorry. I will not have a single NEPS agent because the Sons of Calydon, my bank, yep, it's going to them. I'm sorry. I'm going all out on Jane. I mean, not on Jane, on Caesar and Bernice. I'm going all out.
I think just back up for a minute and you've saved since Ellen then at this point.
Yes, because
what
you guys don't know. Yeah, you guys don't know this, but in Genshin Impact, I just told you I'm a Eula main, but there's another character in Genshin that's happens to be my second favorite Hoyo character of all time, behind Aventurine. He used to be my number one, but it's Zhongli, and we're basically about to get the ZZZ's version of Zhongli. So you damn right that I'm about to go all out on the Sons of Calydon.
If Caesar actually is like that Zhongli equivalent, yeah, at that point I would literally have that video. You can timestamp me, clip it. Yeah, she's gonna be a must pull, like without a doubt. If she's giving Zhongli levels of like support plus shield, yeah, everyone needs to pull her without a doubt.
Like the thing is, right? And I don't know why they wouldn't. I'm pretty fucking positive that she will give a lot of resistance to interruption. Mm-hmm. And
that's
that
something we've been missing,
dude.
like,
that
100%.
helps so many characters, dude. You know how many characters that helps? That like usually would get fucking knocked out of their shit, or you'll have to stop. Like for example, in the newest Shiyu defense, the one where it's not timed, right? It's against those two guys who it's no time limit. They just try to kill you, right? You are constantly having to dodge. You can go watch my friend Valk on YouTube play it if you haven't done it yet, dude. They never stop attacking. Both of them. They never stop attacking. Like you're having to constantly fucking dodge. So if you're playing characters that have like really long animations, for example, Piper, you know how shit it feels to play Piper against that?
No, 100%. That's the one thing I've hated but loved so much about Piper. She's so good, but you take so much time being in that like vulnerable state of getting hit while you're doing the spin, so you lose like half your HP to do half of theirs. I'm like, oh my god, it sucks.
Nah, bro. So you have no choice, and these guys will straight up kill you, right? Like it's more than half your HP, right? They'll do like 3/4, like in one hit. So like with Piper, you know, I'm over here spinning, and I'm like, fuck, I have to keep dodging. Like I can't finish my spin. So it's a no-brainer to me that Caesar King is gonna come out. And it's gonna let characters like Piper, characters like Anton, characters like Corrin, who have these really long animations that they don't want to cancel, they can just tank through the shit now, and that's just so fucking huge. That's so huge.
You kind of brought that to me. I forgot all about that. If we were to get like a nasty shoe with good knockback resistance, yeah, those characters would get a lot more play because of what you mentioned. Like, oh, you don't want to cancel these animations, and the reason why we don't play them is because we have to cancel them just because we get hit so much, or the enemies are doing some weird move that stops us from being able to complete it. That's actually huge. Yeah, 100%. Like, he's gonna be huge if she comes out that way.
So like I've been a Piper salesman since day one, because the game for some reason Piper and Lucy have never been on a rate up, and for some reason I have them both at M6. I have both of their weapons at R5. I don't know how the fuck the game said you're a Sons of Calydon main, but hey, you're a Sons of Calydon main, Kete. So I've been a Piper and Lucy main since they've been fucking carrying my account. But let me tell you, that new Shiyu defense floor, I'm sorry, I will not use Piper until Caesar. Bro, having to start your spin and not even get like 2 spins and having to dodge, because if you don't dodge, she's just fucking dead.
That's funny.
It's fucking terrible.
Yo, EO, you remember what I said early on in the game when I was talking about Piper?
You said a lot of things.
The one where I compared it to one character, and I said she might be better than her. At the very start, you don't remember?
No.
I said at the beginning of the game, after playing with Piper for a good minute, I was like, she's better than Grace. I was like, without a doubt. And I showed EO the footage. It was like early game. I'm talking like super early. I was hitting 100k, 200ks already.
Yeah.
And EO was like baffled with like how much damage she was outputting at that time, because we just started the game and she's hitting that much. And I was like, Anomaly's busted. Like, this is a nasty like roll or type of damage to play into. And I still think right now it's actually slept on heavily right now still. Thankfully Jane is coming out, and I think that's gonna open as it always does in Hoyo games. There's always that one character that brings to life the stat that was in the game already and no one really cared about. And I think Jane is gonna be the start of that for Anomaly, which I'm very happy for, because it's super strong.
But yeah, you're right. But characters like Piper, Anton, Core, and any future character that has super long animations you don't want to cancel, I think Caesar King's going to be a must. I think she's going to be an absolute must to have. So she's going to be a very high priority for a lot of players, I feel. But the unfortunate thing is, I just made a video, my recent video the other day. It was 2 days ago now. And I was, trying to tell people to stop overthinking. Like, this is how you can break down which character to get, because, so many people are now like, oh, should I go for Jane? Should I go for Bernice? Or should I go for Caesar? And so I made a video breaking that down, and there were so many comments saying, I just can't choose between Jane or Caesar. They don't have enough pulls.
100%.
They don't have enough pulls. So it's like, which one do I get? And in my honest opinion, at this point, man, there's no wrong answer. Like,
can we talk about how like not free to play friendly this game is though?
It's not.
I've been trying to push that for a long time.
It's not.
And then,
it's not.
Like, I think I forgot who put it out, but he put out that the Google sheet, and I was like, these are all the pulls that you can get.
Was it Connor?
I don't know. It was I remember what he's talking about. It was a pull sheet income, like Excel sheet, and like they were like, "Oh, you're gonna get like 50,000 film by 1.0." And I remember telling EO when I was playing the game, I was like, "Bro, where's my 50,000 film?"
Even because I played the, I know obviously everyone played the CBTs free to play because we didn't have a choice unless you were in CN, but I played them free to play and I got no limited. I never got Ellen until like the very last. I think CBT2, they gave us, oh, here are all the little character selectors that you can get. That's how I got Ellen in CBT2 at the very end of the CBT. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I just played with the one Nekomata and nothing else. CBT3 came around. I ended up getting Grace. That's why I knew so much about Grace going into the game on launch. But Grace was the only character I got in CBT3. And I'm like, yo, this is bullshit. And I exhausted both of the games to the point where like I'm at Shiyu defense. I'm at the end of the story. I've done all the events. I've done all the side quests. And so when I saw like, oh, you get 50,000 polychrome, I'm like, what? Where? No, there's no way that somebody can count this up. Because like, how are you getting any of that? And when the live version came out, and you had all these people like, just pull for what you want. It doesn't matter. They don't get the weapon. Just pull the characters. You can get every character you want in the game. And I'm like, y'all have no idea what you were about to set yourself up for. Because y'all are crazy if you think you're going to be able to get more than a couple characters off the banner and win the 50-50. Bro, nah, you're crazy.
Gamer.
Set it up though. Go ahead. You can go ahead.
Gamer. Let's make this the fourth topic. You just got me passionate, bro. Let's make this the fourth topic, bro. You just got me fucking passionate because I am so fucking tired. I hope everyone who makes it to this part of the podcast, you fucking hear me. Anyone who's listening, you fucking hear me. I don't give a fuck.
That's crazy.
If this shit gets demonetized. I am so fucking tired of people saying just pull who you want. You can't afford to do that in this game. You don't get enough pulls to just pull every character you want. Telling a free to play, oh, just go pull who you want. It's not that fucking simple. That's an unfinished fucking statement. You can't just say pull who you want. You gotta say pull who you want that's going to benefit your fucking account. Stop saying just pull any character you want that you don't already have synergy for on your account. It makes no fucking sense to me, and it's just brain rotting. How many people will say, oh, just pull who you want, just pull who you want. You can't afford to do that, or you're just gonna break your fucking account.
I think it makes it hard though, especially how Hoyo does it, because they did the same in Honkai Star Rail. They kind of like throw banger after banger for the first like 3 patches, and then it's like characters you kind of can't skip. Because for zenless, of course, Ellen and Juyin, I think was a pretty easy one to like. Okay, I pick one DPS, I don't get the other. But then now they're throwing in Qingyi, and they're throwing in who's a crazy stunner. They're throwing in Jane Doe, who's gonna be the head of Anomaly for a very long time. They're doing what's it called, Caesar King, who's gonna be a god tier defense unit, and they did the same in Star Rail. They did 2 DPSs, so you pick one or the other, and then they did Luocha and Silverwolf, god tier debuffer and god tier sustain at the time. Then they did Kafka and Blade. Now Blade was a little bit hard to like actually want to pull for, but Kafka was the must-have for everyone. Yeah. So I think they set it up on purpose to be like, yo, we're gonna drain you of all you got at the start, and then we'll see how it goes later. Because I don't think that mantra of pull who you want happens until you're already like 2 to 3 years down in the game.
Yeah, you gotta be later. You gotta be later into the game. You can't do that.
Yeah. Because that's like where we're at now with Star Rail. It's like now in Star Rail, it's like pull who you want, because you basically have everything that you possibly even need to clear any game now. Yes. Like Yun Li and Jiao Shou, don't need them. Like they're kind of cool to have. Yun Li's fun, Jiao Shou is cool for a certain type of team, but these aren't needed characters. And I think that's where Star Rail's at right now, and we won't get to that in ZZZ for a super long time. So it's gonna be super hard for people to be like, oh, pull you want. You do have only like 1 character's worth now, and there's probably like 7 you're probably gonna want. Have fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think I actually covered this in one of my recent videos, and it's fine to say just pull who you want, but like you have to choose, right? Yeah. And I think in that video I said something along the lines of like you have to just pick 2 characters, right? And then you build your teams around those 2 characters. If you want to remain free to play or low spender, you pick 2 out of the current or upcoming characters, and then you build your teams around those with the A ranks that you get. And there is a chance that as the game goes on, we get more and more S ranks, etc., etc. So it is also a game of patience, for real. Because it's like you said, like in a few years' time, you'll have everything you want, and then you can just pull whoever you want. I don't think the game is unplayable though, as a free-to-play or low-spend player. It's just a case of patience.
Well, 100%. I have a friend that is full free to play, and they're basically done with all the end game content. Like basically there at that point with what they got so far. So it's very much possible. It's just don't expect to get every new shiny thing that's coming out, because that's just not going to be how it is. They need to make their money somehow.
Yeah. So yeah, like looking forwards, like I think season might be the skip. I'm gonna say it.
Whoa, okay.
You're crazy. You're crazy.
That's
you're crazy.
insane,
you're crazy. Bro. You know what? Okay, but to be fair though, now that you say that, maybe I can see it. If we're going with the idea, the concept that we were talking about earlier, she would be like the Zhongli of the game.
Yeah.
You could skip that. My main Genshin account does not have Zhongli. I've missed every single rerun. I don't have Albedo. I don't have any of the Geo characters, and I've been able to complete whatever it is that I want up until the point that I stopped playing the game. And so I think.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think if it is the case where like she is an amazing defensive character that offers X, Y, and Z and whatever else, then sure, you can get away with that, because you have Seth, you have Ben, you have Qingyi, you have Enby, you have all these different ways to go about keeping yourself safe in the game. But in the event that she is, as I said on Twitter, a one-woman army, and like her sword and shield, let's talk about it like from a Monster Hunter perspective. Sword and shield in Monster Hunter is the perfect weapon. It gives you damage, it gives you speed, it gives you support, because you can use items. It's the only weapon in the game that can use items while having its weapon out, which comes in clutch for like moments where you're in the heat of battle. So you can buff yourself up, you can debuff the enemy, you can throw items, you can zip line, web swing, whatever. And you also have a parry and a block. If she has 4 or 3 out of the 6 different things that I just named, it's over. At that point, she would be considered the current must pull in the game, because she does everything. That way, it would be like what I would compare to a Silverwolf situation, where like early game you get this character so that you don't feel the effects of not having to pull everything. Because if they were to start releasing, just like in Star Rail, banger after banger after banger after banger after banger, you don't have breathing room. You always feel like you can't and will miss out on something that's super critical. But if they released a character like Caesar and she was, hey, I can defend myself, I can defend the team, and I do solid enough damage on my own that I can take out whatever it is, then you bring in your support character and your other DPS character, and they pretty much clean up shop. That way you at least round out that one team, free to play or not, and you're done. I think that would be the unskippable. But if she doesn't do any of the stuff that I named, then yeah, easy skip.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Oh, sorry, Rehoo, you go on.
Let me say it real quick. I was gonna say it's a two-sided thing, I guess you could say, because one thing is like, one person could be like, I'm gonna skip because I don't get hit anyway. He's like, I dodge everything anyway, so I don't need the shield.
I'm just better.
Yeah, just get good. And the second thing is like, also, because it was a pretty huge thing when Zhongli came out, and I saw how nasty of a shield he had. The mobile players are gonna basically have that dude needed, or Caesar needed.
Yeah.
Because that's a big help for mobile players to like, because they already have that like restricted mobility, I guess you could say, with like how much harder it is to work on mobile versus having like a full keyboard or like an actual controller. Something like Caesar King would be absolutely wild, but it can and can't be a skip. It depends on like what you said, EO, what they give, to be honest.
Yeah.
All right.
I think to EO's point, like he said, like if there's like 4 or more of those things he mentioned, then yeah, it's 100%. But if it's just like minor buffs and the comfort from the shield, for example, like it's like 2 of them, then it's like, that would be nice, but maybe skip.
Yeah, you know? Like I don't get hit anyway.
Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna say it. The people on PC and console and Twitch, I feel like 90% of them always forget that the vast majority of players are on mobile. Right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Like,
True.
Me.
So while for you as a PC player who's ever listening to this, or a console player, maybe you can dodge well, maybe you don't need Caesar, and maybe she's not that great of a pull for you. But you know, the average player who plays these games are not that good at video games, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's okay to not be good at video games. You know, you play video games for fun, right? But you know, also factoring in they're on mobile too, there's a reason why Zhongli, 4 years into Genshin, is still one of the most used characters in the entire game. There's a reason. This is a mobile game first before it is anything else, and most players play on mobile. So while yes, for people who do play on controller and PC, and maybe there are a few mobile game gods, there are a few, right? There's a few. You can find some god clears on mobile on YouTube. You can, but the average player, Caesar King, is going to make their life so much easier, so much more comfortable. So I do think for the average player on mobile, Caesar King is going to be one of the top priorities.
Reminder, we don't know what her kit is like right now.
Yeah.
Right. It's all guesswork. Guesswork.
Lies.
She could be shit. So.
Lies.
But she won't.
Lies.
Slander.
Fucking strike me down now. Lies.
That's crazy to ask for live too. They'd be like, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that. He's gonna upload the video. You're gonna see Cognisphere his copyright strike this.
That's wild.
But I guess we can go to the next topic, which I guess we kind of are talking about a little bit, talking about basically just the direction of the meta.
Well, about the lighter stuff.
I thought that was the light stuff.
Yeah, that was the light stuff.
No, the lighter. Like, what's going on with lighter? The guy from the Sons of Calydon.
That's what you meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bruh,
Who the hell's the guy? There's a man in Sons of Calydon.
Yeah, he's in. You know how ironic. The Sons of Calydon only has one guy, and everybody else is a girl.
I only know about Big Daddy.
Lighter is the dude who hangs out at the Box Galaxy from time to time in Luminous.
You know what? He's not really a part of the team. You know, like
That's
he's just kind of there.
crazy.
Like he's the
in the trailer.
support.
He's right there.
No. But he's supporting them. You know, he's the true support of the team.
I already know what Lighter's gonna do.
I think he's gonna be an attack unit because that's the only thing we don't have.
He's gonna definitely be an attack. He's gonna be an A rank.
Definitely the A rank.
He's gonna be an
That's
A rank.
crazy.
He's the A rank.
That's crazy. You're not a female. Go to the A's.
He could be the A rank, but I was kind of expecting his reveal a little bit sooner, like in line with the Caesar and Bernice stuff, if he was going to be the A rank. Because when we got Seth, announced, Seth was announced like at roughly the same time as Jane and Chingy, like for 1.1. So I'm thinking he could be an S rank in 1.3. That's why I'm just floating the idea.
It's weird that we're not. It's not. Well, I don't know about weird because it's like they don't have to give us one, but like it is weird that they aren't bringing another 4-star this early in. The fact that we only got Bernice and Caesar drip marketed. I don't know what they plan on doing with, because of course Lighter could have been the A rank for 1.2, and we know most likely if you've played the story where we're going in the direction for, it would make sense to have all the Sons of Calydon characters introduced all at once. But I don't know. I wonder what their plans are for him. But I definitely do think whenever he does release, he's most likely going to be an attacker, just because that's the only role we don't have left over for Sons of Calydon after Caesar and Bernice come out.
That's sure.
Because then you could do what you guys were talking about earlier. You could put Lucy in the front, put him in the middle, and put Caesar in the back, and then go back and forth between the two, right?
If she has,
it, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. If Seth has it and Caesar doesn't, I'm rioting. Okay.
Yeah, but okay, wait.
I'm right.
Like, hear it out, right? What if she has the stuff that I mentioned? Like, what if she has a parry? What if like she can chunk her shield forward or something like that, or like an uppercut? You know, like if they give her other things, it would make sense why she doesn't have a backwards basis, because then she has too much.
Listen, what if she's a sub DPS? Think about it. What if she's a sub DPS as well? So now you have the support, and then you have a sub DPS who also so happens to give shields and buffs, and then you go into your DPS. I'm just saying, you know.
That'd be crazy.
There's a lot of things they can do. They're definitely trying out a bunch of unique stuff with all these characters. No character has felt the same. Everybody has been staying in their own lane, and we haven't had a repeat since the game came out. So we never know. They could do a bunch of stuff with Caesar. They can do a bunch of stuff with Bernice, which I'm excited for the most part.
One thing I know that she will be way too game breaking, but I would love it because, you know, he's gonna be, you know, top defensive character in the game. I would love it if she was the character that, you know, the red flash attacks that you can't parry.
Yeah,
I would love if she could parry those.
That's crazy.
Actually, you know what? Ooh, wait a minute. He's on to something. No, he's on to something. If she's the only character with a functional parry, like a physical parry, it's in her kit, and she could parry any attack, that's an attack. So like at that point, I don't have to dodge it. I can just, hey, Caesar, block this real quick. Yeah. And then she gets her own counter off. Oh my goodness, bro.
Yeah,
I'd be ecstatic.
Insane.
That would be
she would
so
be
crazy.
insane for that.
But I don't think she's gonna do it. That'd be way too game breaking.
Well, we never know. It's ZZZ. They can do whatever they want.
Hey man, I just wanted to be as broken as possible, so every dollar I spend is justified. But what are you guys like opinion? Like, do you think it's gonna be anomaly meta in the future? Will attack agents be better than anomaly? Like, what's your opinions?
I think the game is gonna round out to the point where like you can practically play whatever you want. And it feels good. It feels really good that way because, you know, I'm not sure if you saw the podcast that is it a podcast? Whatever, the video that Rehoo and I did with Jay, but it was it was more so going over like the route is very much Honkai Impact 3rd coded. So a lot of the things that we're seeing right now in Star Rail, I'm not Star Rail, my bad, in Zenless. Yeah, I'm looking at the Star Rail thumbnail that I made and I'm like, okay. But a lot of the things that we're seeing in Zenless is basically similar to what they were seeing in Impact Third throughout year 1 and then going into year 2, where they had a weather system, they had new modes built inside of like what could be their in-game mode, and then the characters that were being released, the weapons attached to the characters, all of these things were pointing at way less of a play whatever you want, do whatever you want, and more so like if you don't know what you're doing or building in this game, you will ruin your account. And I think Zenless is close to that, but you can make up for it for the fact that like the base roster of characters, the free characters, they're good. You can get away with whatever you want as long as you build into them, and then you can, you know, any character that you would have pulled so far, you could not have gone wrong. I know people are like, oh man, I got Ellen, but Zuyuin stronger. Like, why didn't I just say it? It doesn't matter, bro. Ellen's still strong. Like, you're fine. Even when Miyabi gets here, Ellen will still be strong. You're A-okay. She just won't be like the strongest, but that doesn't take away all the damage and speed and, you know, capabilities that she has now. However, or rather, with that being said, if all of us have been paying attention to like their M1s or the weapons, I will lay off and I'll say like the W engines don't make or break a character as much as I thought that they would do. At least with Zhu Yin. Any other character in the future, I'm not entirely too sure just yet. Like, I'm pretty sure if we get Jane Doe, I'm almost positive her weapon is going to be specifically for her.
I just want to warn you. Be very careful with this topic, or Gamer will fight you.
Yeah, he's saying all the right things. There's no need to fight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No, Gamer, don't even try to act all innocent now. No,
Yeah.
you know you're very passionate about this topic.
I am, because I'm very anti-weapon.
Yeah.
I think in general I'm very anti-weapons and gadgets, to be honest. But I think, yeah, like, we don't know what's going to happen moving forwards. And to the point of Jane's weapon, like, I actually don't think the anomaly weapons that we have right now, the A ranks, are that great. So, I think you got a point. Like,
Yeah,
I
like
think
Jane's the only one.
Jane's weapon could be something that's potentially worth considering, but I don't know. We'll see. We just have to see. We just have to see.
Yeah, it's all time will tell, you know, because like Fusion Compiler, which is Grace's weapon, it's really good. But I can't say that based off how I played Jane or how she was playing in the story, I don't think Fusion Compiler works as what Jane wants to do. I think it's a good stat stick, you know, and it gives her penetration ratio, which is great. But from what we read, because you can read the kits in the story, Jane wants anomaly proficiency, and like that's not giving her that, you know. And any other like A rank weapon, yeah, you'll get anomaly proficiency, but then you look at, oh, her assaults can crit. Okay, well, how do I get that? You need anomaly proficiency, and you can't give her any other or not like it. Stacking anomaly proficiency isn't like a percent, right? They give us the flat numbers, and I'm like, this is dumb, but I guess that's just how it's supposed to work. And you're supposed to creep up 300 plus anomaly proficiency with what? No weapon. It's going to be very hard to do that. And if you're not playing with Seth, hypothetically, there's a lot of stipulations that go into that. Zhu Yuan has the easiest free to play weapon in the game because it's just straight up, you know, Billy's. It's free. So we can't complain about that. That's why I think she's the best free to play DPS right now. And then Ellen, you can get away with not using her signature as well, but her signature definitely like makes up for how you want to play that character. But outside of the W engine conversation, it's just the game overall that I think is going down that route. We're seeing it with the mode you were talking about earlier, where it's just relentless. You're getting attacked nonstop. Not only does that completely defeat everyone saying, what was it? Enemies don't attack. You can just mash. It's you know, beat the game blindfolded, whatever. You can't do that on that mode. You have to know what the fuck you're doing. And if you spent the entire game just mashing and not learning enemy designs, attack patterns, whatever, you're gonna have a really tough time fighting some of this stuff. The ballet twins, people think they're easy because the story mode is easy, but you go fight the ballet twins in the end game and they're whooping your ass. You know, they're spinning and mixing you up. One of them shooting you from the sky, the other's coming from behind. They're both teleporting nonstop. There's a lot of things that happen later on in the game that force you to understand and take the time to learn how to play the game. Building characters around that, it's just, I think we're there, you know. Impact Third, I needed to know combos or I wasn't doing damage. Like with dude, it was weird. Like I played Kiana and you showed me, and I was, oh yeah, I'm you know, smashing square, I'm doing her triangle, and you're like, you're playing her wrong, and I'm like, what? It's like gotcha game, bro. How am I playing a character wrong? And then when you showed me like you're supposed to do 1 2 3 hold, do the special move, hold, do the special 1 2 3 ult, and then do it again, and like there were different rotations. I'm like, oh shit, wait a minute. When do I swap into the other character? And you know, I'm learning. And I think that's where Zenless is, where like with Zhu, you know, the I hate that people are labeling her as like only a burst DPS. And I'm like, she has a whole offline mode of her kit that you could take advantage of. But so many players are like, only bring her out when the enemy's stunned. Press square, hold square, you're done. And I'm like, dude, at that point, you might as well just not use the character because like
that's how you
there's
play
nothing
it,
else but nothing else is being used in her kit. So I'm like, you can get more out of that. You know what I mean? But it begs the question. Yeah, like when do you swap and when don't you swap? That's a whole different mind game to Zenless that isn't being explored right now, because everyone swaps when you see the gold parry, right? I do the parry, I swap. I do the parry, I swap. Get chain attack, I swap. That's how their mind works on like when to swap and when not to swap. But there's a method to the madness, right? When you're playing against the ballet twins, for instance, again, there are opportunities where you can get an attack off, swap out, and then reposition yourself so that you're nowhere near the spin move, right? Or you're nowhere near what's going on. Or if for instance, there's something that I like to do where one of them jumps in the air and she's gonna dive at you. If you use a quick assist, you just go to the other one. You completely avoid it. So like instead of having to dodge and waste time and then run all the way across or try and parry something that I can't parry, I can just go hit the one that's not attacking me if I knew how to switch. So it's just little stuff like that that I really enjoy about the game. But I'm done now.
I'm glad you actually said that about the parrying. So many people in my server, and I've also seen some comments, are getting destroyed by that new mode, Rehoo, because they just constantly parry and they instantly run out of assist points. And you run out of assist points, 20 seconds into that fight. Oh, GG.
Yep.
You gotta know when to parry and when to dodge. You can't just spam parry. You can't, or you're gonna fuck your assist points. And when you see a gold flash coming, but your character didn't parry, but they got smacked in the mouth, what the fuck happened?
I remember in the betas, people were like, "Oh yeah, this is a mash fest. Like, you only had to press square," because like a lot of people were giving like really, I guess you could say negative reviews of Zenless in the early betas. And when they came back with CBC3, and I made that video, I was like, "Oh yeah, these guys attack more. Like if you don't start dodging," because I was at the end of Rehoo by that point. So if you don't start dodging instead of like paying attention to that parry, I was like, some of these moves take more parry gauges than just one when you parry. So like some take 2, some take 3, and I was like, if you don't start dodging these like one hit but take away 3 parry gauges, you're gonna lose out on these and you're gonna get hit non-stop. And people thought I was crazy until it came out in the live game and they're like, oh okay, I see what he was saying.
That's another great thing about defense characters. You parry with them, they take less
it's
assist
always
points.
one.
Yeah, they only take 1.
Another thing that's cool too is besides the defensive characters, the vital view characters also do the same thing. So characters that can't actually parry but they do the slow-mo dodge, that also only takes 1. So characters like Grace, characters like Billy, those characters can do the same thing like defense, where they only need to take 1 parry gauge. So there's a lot of really cool in-depth stuff that like a lot of people kind of like glossed over, but it's kind of cool to see that there is a reason why each character is the way they are, and there's little small details of what they can do that can help you in the long run.
Yeah.
Oh, hoyoverse, they're fucked too for that new boss of the new Rehoo, because like how like you'll parry a hit, right, with like a character who actually parries, and if the enemy attacks fast enough, you'll just automatically parry again. You don't have to do anything, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So many players have gotten fucked by that new boss because
they spaced it out just enough to where you have to manually parry it.
Yeah, like the first 2 or 3 hits, you'll auto parry, right? You're like, oh, I'm just chilling, and then that 4th hit will be so ever slightly delayed.
Dang. I need to play this mode, bro. You make it sound so good. I need to play
it again. What mode is this?
It's the newest Rehoo. It's not timed, so right. It's in the harder Rehoo.
I think I started it. I think I only did the first couple though.
Yeah, it's the
I
very
definitely
last.
need to try
it's the
it.
very last stage. It's not timed. It's just two guys who are trying to fucking murder you. But yeah, there's other enemies who also do that, but they don't hit nearly as hard. I think it's most relevant with this new one because they actually hit so hard. But like, I just thought that shit was so fucked. I was like, bro, you mean to tell me they delayed it like by 0.2 seconds, so it doesn't auto.
That's so cool. That is so cool. I like that a lot. The fact that you're saying this, I really need to go try out that mode because that sounds like something I would love to do.
Yeah, so you have to parry, parry, parry. Oh shit, dodge!
That's so cool. I love that. I'm glad they are. As they said in the interviews before the game came out, like they're gonna steadily bring in more difficulty as time goes by, and we've been seeing them do it with giving us these brand new modes and listening to feedback. It's really cool seeing that they're actually paying attention, and also something that we are still needing to wait for, which I can't wait when they do it, is when they add multiplayer back. That's gonna be so cool.
Yes.
I
cannot
cannot wait.
What is the multiplayer going to be?
It was when it was in beta, they let us fight the weekly bosses together.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. I hope they do that plus like maybe like a horde mode or something, or any type of
I want to co-op Hollow Zero.
co-op
Yeah.
Zero.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, like, but instead of the TV modes, you replace it with actual
Ooh.
floors,
like floors.
Yeah. And so like you can get your
That's
buffs in between
cool.
the floors and whatnot, or like if I get a kill from a mob and they just drop a random buff, I could pick it up or you could pick it up, anything like that. That would be a really cool way to do that, like a literal what do they call it? The rogue kind of games or whatever.
Yeah.
Roguelite, yeah, like a literal one of those, like Dead Cells. That would be really cool to have in the game.
Oh, so like basically a Divergent universe or simulated universe, basically that.
Yeah, a little bit like that, but like co-op, so everything is like
Yeah.
it's just non-stop action, right? I don't have to
that'd be
stop
cool.
my
Just all
fighting or
together.
stop. Yeah, the only time you don't fight is when you clear the wave or you clear the floor.
Oh my god, that would be so freaking cool if they did that.
I don't think you could go on as long though, because I think the way that it works now is quite nice because you get a bit of a breather. Maybe that's just me. I'm just old.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess like because it'd be co-op, right? So your breather would be, hey, let's take a break or do this, that, and the third, whatever.
They could go anywhere. It'd be really cool to see anything co-op that's actually like meaningful. Like, cause I remember we didn't like, or y'all didn't like, cause I didn't get to test it, cause I got to put in the wrong server. But when they did the co-op, the boss was only targeting one person, so like the other guy was just like hitting from the back, and there really wasn't any agency when they were fighting the boss. Hopefully they change it to where it's like they're doing more AoE attacks, there's more mechanics to the boss and stuff like that. That way it actually makes sense to do it in co-op and it'd be actually fun for both players playing the game.
What are you talking about, bro? I'm gonna get the boss. I'm gonna corner myself with Caesar, and while Billy's in the back just shooting it. You feel me?
Crazy. Ooh, just rock Nekomata while you're in the corner. Ooh, 100% back attacks. Gotta grab that M1 for Nekomata.
I'm over here with Caesar fighting for my life. Kill this motherfucker.
Man doesn't have enough for his skill or something, or whatever procs your shield, and he's like, please kill it, I don't have any energy.
You just see me getting fucking mollywopped. It's like fucking EO, kill this motherfucker.
That'd be funny.
Gotta reload, bro. I gotta reload.
What do you mean you gotta reload? You're Billy.
That man's playing Zhu Yin with no bullets, no skill. Yeah, that man's just doing basic attacks. Like, bro,
Imagine.
Oh my god.
Why is your doing physical damage?
You know what? That'd be funny though, because like think about it in a co-op setting, right? Like if she's supposed to be a burst DPS, but you're the only one in control of Zhu Yuan, you have to get your own bullets now.
Oh yeah, now you have to get your own.
True.
How would chain
You
attacks
could
work
chain
in
it-
co-op?
Huh?
How would chain attacks work in co-op?
It works the same way.
Yeah, like you trigger it.
Yeah. So like whenever they do their chain, then it prompts up yours. Like, oh, do your chain now.
okay,
And
okay.
then yeah.
How does parries work in co-op?
The same way. Everything works the same way technically in co-op versus solo.
Oh, so I can manually parry solo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's basically all the same thing. I think the only thing that was different, well, not really different, is like whenever someone does their ult, you don't see their ult. It's just them doing the animation. So yeah, that's the only thing I think that's like different technically. But everything else is practically the same.
I can see myself, boss about to do a one-shot mechanic, and I just throw myself in front of Rehoo.
Oh my god, that stuff like that would be so funny to see. Holy crap!
You better finish the shit. Oh my goodness. Speaking of co-op, y'all said hoyoverse. You said weekly bosses. What about rally commissions? I think that would be pretty cool, like specialized co-op rally commissions.
You just triggered
That'd be pretty cool too.
You triggered me. You just reminded me because okay, the reason why I'm triggered is because before we didn't have manual mode, right, in 1.0, but now we got it back in 1.1. In the betas, rally commission was actually a weekly mission, so you got a new rally every week, and it reset. And I'm kind of upset that we don't have that anymore. It was like zero, but no TVs basically. That was what rally commission was back then, and we don't have that now. Now it's just like you get the mission and that's it. Now you wait until we one day bring some back. It's not a weekly reset like it was in the beta. I kind of miss that a lot. That we don't have that anymore.
Okay. Well, let's move on to the next. And I'm gonna let EO take the heat on this one.
Oh,
because you started it earlier. You started this, so you're gonna finish it.
Wait, what are we? Wait, I want to know what it is.
Overrated characters, and I know you were
I'm saying
talking,
it first.
You were talking,
I'm already saying it first. Sokaku. I'm saying it first. I'm saying it first. I'm taking that spot. Sokaku is the most overrated character. I don't see why everyone's hyping her up like she's god tier when Nicole is right there. Like, I legit don't understand the hype for Sokaku. Like, she's good, don't get me wrong. On the ice team, you are not rocking her on any other team.
Oh,
like,
yeah, well, I think that is the hype, right? Like, anyone, okay, I agree with you. If you're talking Sokaku, like maxly built Sokaku, like built very well for Ellen, I do think she's worth the hype, but anywhere else, hell no.
It's like, the thing is that a lot of people are placing Sokaku, or some people are placing Sokaku above other supports. When you see what stuff like what Rena's able to do and what Nicole, especially Nicole, I think she's underrated. I think she, huh?
You just triggered me, Rena. That's my pick. There's a dude I literally subscribed to him because of this one video. Let me pull him up. You got it. If you haven't watched this video already, let me find him. But you just triggered the shit out of me. I think Rena is not that good.
Oh, you're talking about the video talking about pen ratio is
yeah.
Like
I've
seen that video
already.
already.
ZZZ, bro. Why is pen so fucking dog shit?
Like, that I cannot answer.
Can I add to the hot take?
What?
That's a hot take.
I don't think Rena is number one anymore. Like support.
I never thought she was number one.
She was never number one.
Okay, wait. Hold on. In my head, Rena was number one because the idea of penetration and shock anomaly constantly on the field was very strong. In the game, I can't be bothered to constantly switch and interrupt my rotations just to get Rena on the field. Now, if we're talking about M1 Rena, I think M1 Rena might still take it.
I'm a proud owner of M2 Rena because the game don't like me when you lose my 50-50s.
Yeah, I think M1 Rena, because now the dolls are on the field for like 12 to 15 seconds. Yeah. And so that's plenty of time for a full DPS rotation, no matter the character. That's a little different. But M0 Arena, I don't think. Now, to be fair, though, I still think she's better than Sokaku and a lot of other Universal teams. But if we're talking about Ellen specifically, it's gotten to a point where I'm like, damn, I might as well just build Sokaku instead of Rena just because of Ellen, like just to use her specifically for the Ellen team. So I get perma-freeze everywhere and then shatters. It's gotten to that point. Outside of that, I think it's that's probably it. Like underrated characters for me, I can't imagine anything else, dude.
Overrated.
Sokaku, but
you mean overrated? You mean overrated?
Oh yeah, overrated. Overrated.
I was about to be like, what, yo, what were we talking about?
My bad, man. Yeah, overrated. It, Sokaku and
I think that's it. I don't think any other character is praised to what Sokaku ends up. Like she comes up in like all the conversation, but I just don't feel like she outputs that much for any other team but Ice.
Lucy and Soldier 11.
Okay.
For overrated?
Yeah.
I think Soldier 11 isn't particularly well thought of, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think Soldier 11's.
Actually, I might have a different opinion than y'all because with EO as well, I do think a lot of people do talk about Soldier 11. She's good, but I don't think she trumps over something like another standard character like Nekomata. I think like physical is so freaking strong in this game, it's not even funny. Like
yeah, I think Soldier 11 is just easy, and that's why people are like she's the best. Because at one point for the first patch of Zenless, the argument wasn't Ellen and Juyuin, the argument was Soldier 11 and Ellen, and a lot of the community, theory crafters included, were basically like, in the event you can play like you can input her perfect basic attack, they were saying Soldier 11 is better than Ellen just because of the consistency at which she has all of the flame slashes. And I don't agree with that. But I also don't agree that I don't think Soldier 11 is like anywhere near Ellen for that matter. I think Nekomata is better than her as well. But it's just because right now Soldier 11 is just basic. Like I love Soldier 11. I think she's really cool and I think she does a lot of great damage. I don't think her damage output at the speed of which she does it is on par with some of the other characters that we have in the game as an overall damage performance or overall like performance in Shiyu, Hollow Zero, whatever. But that's just kind of like a B thing maybe. But I don't know. Lucy's probably the one that I think is the most overrated right now though. Lucy's great, don't get me wrong. But Lucy kind of feels like a similar situation in Arena where like I have to do this thing or I have to use chain attack in order to get whatever. And it's just, I guess maybe like if I'm playing on phone and I don't care, sure, and I'm just clicking chain attack whenever it pops up. You don't really notice these things, right? Like it's whatever to you. But if you're actually playing the game and you're like trying to get a little bit more familiar with when you can switch, when you can't, the enemy patterns, how you can steal attacks or get different opportunities, and like how you keep up the buff time, how you keep the boars active to always have that crit buff and the cheer on state, it gets to a point where it's like I have to switch in her a lot more than I want to compared to when I don't need to, especially on a team with like, again, if we're taking Soldier 11 into account, or even Nekomata for that matter. Nekomata can full screen zip herself across the screen whenever she wants, so there's no point in me using quick assist to get across the screen. Soldier 11 can't do that, so I have to use quick assist to get her across the screen. But then Soldier 11 has 3 different ways of having enhanced basic attacks for free that I would want to use Lucy's quick assist a lot more often, or her chain attack a lot more often. But they last so long that I might as well just go from Soldier 11 Lucy, Soldier 11 Lucy, Soldier 11 Lucy. Obviously I can't do that because I need to stun at some point, but I don't know. It's just weird. Like I think characters are exactly where they need to be half the time, but I definitely think that Sokaku, then Lucy, then Soldier 11 would be my overrated in that order.
I don't know, man. I seen people on YouTube do 400K with Lucy, bro. I don't know.
Hey, bro, that's the M6 Lucy. That's the M6 Lucy. She be dropping meteors.
Oh, is that what you need, M6? To get
to drop the meteor.
Oh, I didn't know. You needed. Well, I should have assumed, but I didn't know you needed dupes to get that.
Yeah, bro. M6. She drops a meteor. Like she hits you, and then if you do the upwards home run, whenever after like 3 seconds or something like that, all 3 boars randomly just jump down one by one and drop a fuck ton of damage, just like a nuke. And I'm like, that's hot.
I gotta build that because just like Kate said, I got M6, Piper, and Lucy, so I have the liberty of trying that out if I wanted to. But yeah, for me, I think it's just Sokaku. I think everyone. I don't want to talk about Lucy that much because I don't play her anymore, or I don't use her anymore. But Sokaku, I think for me is just my only answer for that one, realistically.
Yeah. What is that?
Why are you posting my tier list?
He's like, I'm gonna call him out right now.
So why is Lucy in B?
Why is Lucy in B? What do you mean she's mid? She's where she's supposed
She's
to be.
mid.
I played her at the start. Don't get me wrong.
Wait,
that was
when
my
did you
second
do
team.
this tier list?
When the game came out.
We had all those characters down there.
Yeah.
I didn't have that tier
down
list.
there. Oh wait. Yeah, it was right when the game started.
Oh.
Yeah,
I didn't
I'm not
have
gonna
that
lie. I
tier
kind of
list.
think my list still kind of holds for the most part. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think the only character I'd move would be Grace go down a tier. Other than that, I think that list is actually pretty clean.
Nah, bro.
That was actually going to be my
I
pick
don't-
for overrated character.
I
to be
don't.
honest,
I don't
was
agree
Grace.
with. I don't agree with Lucy B.
I do.
Nah.
I do.
I
Put
I
your
think-
sons of calydon bias away.
Nah, bro. She's just not. She's not a B tier character.
She's not okay. Are you telling me she's better than Okay, wait. The only team Lucy is good in is Fire, no? Like Fire, Soldier 11, and Piper. Correct.
Also, Neko. You could replace Soldier 11 with Neko.
Alright. Let me see. Actually, I'm not gonna fight on Lucy because, like I said, I don't use her anymore. So if you genuinely think she needs to go up only one tier from that old tier list, yes, I think that would be fine. Other than that, I think everyone should be in where they're at. Talking about that old tier list, I think I would move Rena down one and move Nicole up one, and that's it. I think that would be.
Yeah.
I think
Rena
that
is
would be
my
the
choice.
only thing. Like, I was a visionary. See, I knew what was up early. I knew Piper was busted, and I knew Nicole was busted from the start. Like I was like basically shoving it down Eo's throat with how good Nicole and Piper were. Like he did not hear the end of me.
Both should be an S.
Like they're absolutely insane. Nicole being S, yeah, that's what I said. Like move Rena down one, move Nicole up one.
I think Nicole's rise to the top has been such a good thing to watch.
I've been the propaganda for Nicole since the start, bro. I was like, this girl's absurd. Like I knew she was absurd. I was like, this makes no sense why she's this good, including her signature, which you can buy for a singular $1 in the shop, giving you squad damage boost whenever they you hit with ether damage. Yeah, she's busted as heck. She is by far one of the craziest 4-stars in the game, hands down. I think she's one of the craziest characters in the game, hands down. Especially if you have Julian. That's just a god tier team right there.
My choice is definitely Rena. I don't think Rena is a bad character, but I've had so many comments tell me like how much better Rena is for Ellen, and I just bro, like she's overrated. She's overrated, bro.
Yo, remember what we thought at the start?
What?
We thought that Rena like clears Sokaku on Ellen's team.
Bro, because like I'm telling you, dude, the idea, the concept of penetration and shock is just because in this disorder, it's too good to pass up. But it's
and
really
also
just,
the field time difference.
that's what it is, man. Yeah. The field time difference. Like there were so many positives to having Rena, but then you look at it and like they share similar issues with field time in particular. That's a little hard. Like on Sokaku's case, right? She's on the field for too long. Rena's case, she's not on the field long enough. So
yeah, but
that's one of those things.
I don't know if you've seen that video, bro, by that guy who made that pin video, but like even with the fully decked out Rena with her signature weapon at M0, her buffs are just fucking pathetic. Like Pin is so bad. Pin needs a buff. It's so fucking pathetic.
I thought it was just the flat number. Is Pin like the ratio just not good anymore?
Like compared to like other buffs, like compared to attack buffs or Nicole's defense shred, which is weird to me. Like I thought at the very beginning of the game, I thought Pin and defense shred were the same thing, but supposedly they're not. Because
no, it's supposed to be defense drop is lowering the defense. But what I thought, which I don't know, I didn't watch the full video. I thought pen was basically true damage, like that section or that portion of your damage, the 12% pen ratio or however much pen you have, was true damage. That's what I thought it was supposed to be.
But it's not.
Yeah, that's the problem. I think if they made it true damage, like pen ratio is 12%. 12% of your damage is unaffected by their defense. It's going straight through them. That would make it so that Rena's top tier as heck. I think at that point Rena would be right there with Nicole. But the fact that that's not the case, yeah, at that point Rena doesn't hold up to what she was supposed to be doing if Pen doesn't work that way.
Yeah, Rena just her buffs they're mid. Even with her signature weapon at M0, Rena's buffs are mid. And again, I don't think she's bad, but as many people who hype her up, she is overrated.
With the pen ratio stuff, we might have to agree, possibly.
Yeah, I can't argue that right now, man.
Yeah,
I've been struggling even with my own Ellen team to the point, like I said earlier, it's gotten to a point where like I might just either full sin go Nekomata, or I'm gonna have to build Sokaku, because I don't have these issues with my Zuyuin team. Like Zuyuin, she touches the field now, even
They're
without
dead.
Chingy. Yeah, and then, like, I stun them, I swap it on Nicole, I get the quick assist, they're dead. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, next. Ellen, I have to do so much more work. I'm like, bro, I know I like playing Ellen, but like, holy fuck, bro.
I think Julian spoiled us. I'm not gonna lie. Like seeing their health bar go down by chunks every time you throw out a bullet, and
She's
then maybe
brain dead, man. I literally hold square and then move left or right. Enemy dies. I'm like, dude, why did they give us access to doing this?
And then Ellen is like, hold a tag and then do your string and then weave in your skill and then go back into like Sokaku and then go into Lycan again.
I should have pulled M2 Ellen, bro. I really should have went for M2 Ellen. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. M2 Ellen, and that's another thing, right? Like vertical investment in this game in particular. I think that's how you're gonna create longevity or future-proof your DPSs. So with Jane, just because I know I love the character, I love the way she plays, I'm 100% going for M1, maybe M2, depending on what it does. But M1's guaranteed. M1, S1 for sure. But I think that's the way to secure that. Ellen with M1 is very strong because it just kind of cheats the system. Zhu Yuan M1 is very strong because it makes it so that she stays on the field for way longer than she needs to. But she has so much more damage behind each bullet now. And then, excuse me, Qing Yi makes her own personal damage to the point where she's basically a sub DPS on the team to make up for whatever it is that you were doing. But other than that, right? We already acknowledged that pulls in this game are bad. We don't have enough. So trying to get every other character, especially when they're all, what is that? Caesar, Jane, and Bernice, the quote unquote optimal team from what we're speculating, back to back to back. There's no way you're gonna have enough pulls for that. You know what I mean? So it's hard. And getting somebody's W engine, oh my goodness.
Yep, you can get away with that though. Make that team more free to play friendly by either replacing Caesar with Seth or replacing Jane with Piper.
I would not replace Jane with Piper. I don't think Jane's replaceable on any team comp. Because the crit that she does is basically execute. She has execute built into her kit. No one else does.
I hear
and
you.
It's not just for her.
I hear
because I thought that's what it was yesterday. It's the whole team. Anyone that triggers assault.
So basically, if she's running with other physical anomaly agents, she's essentially broken.
Yes, if
So
you put
so
her
you can run a
in
ring fight
Nekomata, yes,
Or-
her in Nekomata is disgusting because
Holy.
Nekomata triggers her own assault, and if someone else triggers assault, Nekomata gets her own damage increase from that. Then Jane triggers her own assault, and she just does her own damage anyway. Every assault, as long as Jane is, because she hits them with this, the debuff is called Nod or something like that. And so anyone that has this debuff applied to them, if they get hit with assault, the assault is guaranteed to crit if you have X amount of anomaly proficiency. And that all comes from Jane. So the entire crit depends on Jane. And then the crit damage, this is the part that confuses me. I don't know where the crit damage comes from. If it's a part of like Jane's crit damage and like the actual crit damage stat gets applied to the assault, or if it's the character who triggers assault and their crit damage. That's what's confusing me about how her kit works. Hopefully somebody can figure that out.
I think it's the static one that comes from her kit. I don't think the crit
It
damage-
feels like it's not static because the numbers change.
We'd have to wait and see when we can show.
Because yeah, like I mean, like if you played in the story, right? If it was static, you would always see the same number every single time. Because the assault itself is only going to change based on the enemy's HP. But if I'm triggering assault on the same enemy multiple times, I should always see the same number. So that number is the crit value is coming from somewhere else, like the damage.
We'd have to see.
Yeah, I haven't played much of the story yet, but I think I'm gonna take my time with it and maybe try and test some stuff out when I do.
So the Tom and Jerry team, but be strong.
Oh, the Seth and Jane. I see.
No, Neko and Jane.
Oh, Oh yeah,
It works both ways. It's the Tom and Jerry.
Okay. Well,
Just to go back though to EO's point about vertical account investment, just if you're listening to this, for the listeners, and you're a free to play or low spam player, I think what EO means to say is that vertical account investment is going to be really useful, but you can do that on reruns. Okay, you don't have to get M2 right now.
True.
Yeah. You're not getting into right now. It's just increasing the longevity of your DPS is all it means.
Of course, as long as you enjoy the DPS still.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Jane's gonna be insane. I can't wait.
are y'all ready for the the war between the Miyabi versus Ellen Simps?
There will be no war. I'm sorry. Like there will be no war. She's already been power crept by 2 characters.
Oh no, but the Ellen mains are gonna fight strong.
It's
That's gonna be me. I'm gonna be the forefront. Down with Miyabi. No more ice.
Yeah, while I see M2 Miyabi on
Yo, chill. I like Fox girls, and then she's also a samurai, so like her whole thing is ninjas and samurai. I can't not pull her, but that's not the point.
Ellen's cool, but man, I think Julian messed me up. I'm like, dang, bro, I spent too much time playing Ellen.
Just straight up spoiled, dude. I need a character that deletes instantly.
Facts. And then we're about to get Jane, so that feeling's gonna be like, I'm sorry. I think once Jane comes out, I will not be using Ellen anymore.
Yeah, as an Ellen main, or rather someone who's really like, I love Ellen as a character. It feels bad of me to try and keep investing into the Ellen team, knowing that in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is, I'm going to get Jane. Like I'm going to heavily invest in a Jane.
Of course, this does get turned around when, because we know how Shiyu is. You get 2 elements that get buffed up. Whenever Ice comes back in rotation, then we'll, blow off the dust that Ellen has on her, and Lycan and Sokaku and them.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, it's not looking that good for Ellen.
But, I mean, when the ice comes back, that'll be when Miyabi comes out. So
Ellen back to the top.
That is true.
What if Miyabi's a stun and power creeps?
Oh, that's
crazy.
Okay, if they make her a stun, I'm not pulling. Y'all wasted that potential. You telling me a cool samurai doing dashes and zipping and all that type of junk is a stunner? Pass. Plus, I like my boy Lycan. He clean with it.
Yeah, but wonder who else is gonna fit on that. Like, if you wanted to run a full faction team with Miyabi, it'd be Miyabi, Sokaku, and I don't think any other character on that faction is gonna be Ice.
Well, you need a stunner still. So like, is either Yanagi or Harumasa. They're both lightning, which I find kind of crazy. But one of them has to be a stunner for that team, most likely. That's probably what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that. You did just say Sokaku is gonna get robbed from Ellen's team.
Yeah, so like that makes Sokaku, like, as soon as Miyabi come out, like, you'll have, whether you have Ellen Joe as your main or Miyabi as your main, you're still gonna want Sokaku.
Sheesh.
I actually just had someone comment while we were doing this on my video. They said that Lycan buffs more than Sokaku.
Oh yeah, because it's the res pen down, right?
Yeah.
And he also gives you the ice attack buff or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm
Sokaku doesn't get that until was it M4, right? I think.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure, like what you said, like M4 plus a. Here's the problem: most people don't have this right now. But if you can get your Sokaku to 5,000 attack, I'm pretty sure she still would.
Wait,
5,000?
That's not happening. You're crazy.
No, it's possible.
That's how you get the max attack buff from her?
Yeah, that's it. No, it is possible. You just have to run attack, and plus her weapon.
Really?
What the fork?
I think even then, that's hard.
5,000? That's insane. I don't know. I've never.
All you need to do is get to, like, I don't remember the exact number, but it's 4 point something K on base, and then her weapon while she's in battle will make up the rest of it. But if you get her to a 5,000 attack, she gives 1,000 flat attack to Ellen.
Bruh, if she has 5,000 attack, I'm making her a DP. God dang.
But see, that's the
insane.
problem with Sukaku, right? Like, you gotta get to that to get her max buff. That's the problem. Like, it's 5,000 attacks.
Yeah.
Like, so most people are not gonna have that. So most people Sukaku, they don't feel the big difference that she can actually make, because 1,000 flat attack is a fucking lot of attack. Like, that's almost Bennett level from Genshin, right? Like, that's very close to Bennett. It's like 100 less than Bennett. So like, and we know how crazy Bennett is, right? So Kaku can buff the living shit out of Ellen and even Miyabi in the future, as long as she scales up with attack. But like, you gotta have 5,000 attack, and that's the fucking problem. Like, I wish they would have made it 4,000. That would have been a lot more achievable.
Jeez.
Sorry.
I don't know. I feel like we pretty much covered a lot of stuff.
We kind of went back and forth on some of the topics, but yeah, I think we kind of covered everything. All good.
Gamer, wrap us up.
So thanks very much for joining us for Gacha Pals. Is this what we're calling it? Do we call it Gacha Pals? Kepe didn't decide on the name, and I keep pitching Gacha Pals. I don't think he likes it. So thanks very much for joining us for Gacha Pals, and Kete's been your host, and for some reason I'm doing the wrap up, but I'm just going to tell you that I'm Average Life Gamer. Sorry?
You're the co-host, you idiot. You're going to be with me every fucking time.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm Average Life Gamer. And I make videos on the internet, so go check out my YouTube channel and all of these cool dudes as well. Do you guys want to wrap up yourselves? Pimp your YouTubes and your Twitches and all of the kinds of stuff. EO?
Yeah, for sure. So we're talking about Zenless, so you guys can follow me on EOXS. You put a space in there, you don't, doesn't matter, at IYOXS. I'll be over there. You can follow me on Twitter at EOKU, IYOKUU. It's not an E, it's an I. It's not an L.
My mind just had a spasm. Oh my god. You said too many letters.
Hey man, listen, you can just slow it down, rewind it, it'll be the same thing, right? But regardless, yeah, come over. Oh, Twitch too, man. You guys come mess with me on Twitch, man. Same place. It's all gravy. And yeah, don't follow Rehoo. That's gonna be not Rehoo, NOT.
That's crazy.
And then all caps REWHO.
That's wild. Wait, where is that? That's my TikTok, bro. That's actually my TikTok app.
I know. That's what's funny.
Because someone has Rehoo. I don't know. I was like, who?
They snatched it from you.
That's kind of crazy, though. I was like, who else has this name? Mine is literally Rehoo on literally everything. Except for the Zenless channel is Zenless Rehoo. But other than that, that's pretty much it.
All right. I appreciate you boys coming on. We need to do stuff on y'all's channel too. And
for sure.
I think the last thing is, how do we feel about covering the game long term? I know I'm gonna stick with it. Are you guys?
Well, I have a dedicated channel for it, so it's gonna stay that way.
Hey, amen. I know EO made it too.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm as far as like covering it, I want to stick with it for sure. But I am getting ready to introduce Genshin. I haven't decided which channel is gonna get it. Probably gonna be my main channel. But it really just depends, right? Because like if Genshin takes over and like, because this is just a timing thing, right, dude? You don't have time for everything, man. So we'll see. I'm already having a hard time keeping up 2 games.
2 games? I play 5.
Yeah. You're a problem. You're a target audience.
No problem.
I had to drop Genshin to keep up with this one. Wild.
Play Impact 3rd, Genshin, Zenless, Star Rail, Wuthering, Nikkei from time to time.
Bro, Ryu, what do you do? You wake up and say, "All right, time to play all my gacha games." What the fuck, bro?
Right, it's gacha time.
Yeah, definitely. That's literally what I do. I'm like, I wake up. All right, time to do daily. It's time to waste stamina.
Bruh, I've been playing gacha games for 10 years and I've never played more than 2 or 3 at a time. How the hell are you?
You should have saw me before when I used to play other mobile games like Dokkan, Naruto Blazing. I play so many. Like I'm an actual gacha. That's why playing these many right now with all these other games, like, it's not a problem because I used to do it so much beforehand anyway.
Wow. I'm kind of depressed. I'm a little scared.
It is a curse I walk with.
Well, again, appreciate you guys coming. And as always, my name is Kate the 7th. With that, signing out.